Hey YouTube, this is Ozark's brother Jerry, and coming with this week's Parsha, which is Kiyai Sarah. I guess that's how it's pronounced, and that's Hebrew for life of Sarah. And this week's Parsha covers Genesis 23:1 to 25:18. As an overview, it goes through the death of Sarah, the purchase of the field in Machpelah for her internment. Isaac marries Rebekah. Abraham marries Keturah and has other children. Abraham's death, and Ishmael's family and death. And I would like to focus on the burial field in Machpelah. This is a concept that I was introduced to just a few years ago. John 1:1. Let me start off that way. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with Elohim, and the Word was Elohim. Now you should read the whole chapter, but let's just jump on down to 1:14. John 1:14. And the Word was made flesh and dwelt amongst us, and we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. So here that word was Yeshua. So the Torah was the word, Yeshua was the Torah, and then he dwelt amongst us in human form. So if that's true, which I believe it is, I believe we can use the writings of Yeshua, especially his words himself, to define what things can mean. You know, there's four, as I understand, there's four levels of understanding in the Hebrew language. Number one, is the literal. Number two is, what does it suggest? Number three is, how many times do these terms come up? And then four is what the Father reveals to you. And the Father didn't reveal this to me. I think it was Kingdom of Messiah who gave me this concept. But the last time I checked, they hadn't done a YouTube, if I remember correctly, in a long time. So what we're going to do is use, the definitions of words and the words of Messiah to look at this field in Machpelah to see what this is. So to begin with, let me read the entire chapter of 23. It's not that long. Genesis 23. And Sarah was 107 and 20 years old. These were the years of the life of Sarah. And Sarah died in Kirjath Arba, the same as Hebron, in the land of Canaan. And Abraham came to mourn for Sarah and to weep for her. And Abraham stood up from before his dead and spake unto the sons of Heth, saying, I am a stranger and a sojourner with you. Give me a possession of a burial place with you, that I may bury my dead out of my sight. And the children of Heth answered Abraham, saying unto him, Hear us, my lord, thou art a mighty prince among us, in the choice of our sepulchres, bury thy dead. None of us shall withhold from thee his sepulchre, but that thou mayest bury thy dead. And Abraham stood up and bowed himself to the people of the land, even to the children of Heth. And he communed with them, saying, If it be your mind that I should bury my dead out of my sight, hear me, and entreat for me to Ephron, the son of Zohar, that he may give me the cave of Machpelah, which he hath, which is in the end of his field, for as much money as it is worth. He shall give it to me for a possession of a burial place amongst you. And Ephron dwelt among the children of Heth, and Ephron the Hittite answered Abraham in the audience of the children of Heth, even of all that went in at the gate of his city, saying, Nay, my lord, hear me. The field give I thee, and the cave that is therein. I give it thee. In the presence of the sons of my people give I it thee. Bury thy dead. And Abraham bowed down himself before the people of the land. And he spake unto Ephron in the audience of the people of the land, saying, But if thou wilt give it, I pray thee, hear me. I will give thee money for the field. Take it of me, and I will bury my dead here. And Ephron answered Abraham, saying, My lord, hearken unto me. The land is worth 400 shekels of silver. What is that between me and thee? Bury therefore thy dead. And Abraham hearkened unto Ephron and Abraham, and weighed to Ephron the silver which he had named in the audience of the sons of Heth, 400 shekels of silver, current money with the merchant. In the field of Ephron, which was in Machpelah, which was before Mamre, the field, and the cave which was therein, and all the trees that were in the field, that were in all the borders round about, were made sure. Unto Abraham for a possession in the presence of the children of Heth, before all that went in the gate of his city. And after this, Abraham buried Sarah his wife in the cave of the field of Machpelah before Mamre. The same as Hebron in the land of Canaan. And the field and the cave that is therein were made sure unto Abraham for a possession of a burial place by the sons of Heth. And so now let's look at this board here that I have. Let me reorient, yeah? Okay, that should do it. So let me go over this with you to make sure, just in case you can't make it all out. These are little figures of stick man. This is one big stick man. Trees, and then we have these broken lines indicate, and this is a field. Okay, the field this is a field, goes up to a hill, and these broken lines indicate a subterranean chamber. There's a circle here, and then there's a column connecting them, and then one going out. It's a cave. So now let's start this. So plain and simple, this is the beauty of this is this is our life. This whole, I spoke of the 4 meanings in Hebrew. Well, more than one thing can be true at a time. Yes, it was Abraham burying Sarah, but it was also it is a way of looking at our life. I mean, we start here, we're born, and we go to the end, and hopefully we end up in the right place. But let's talk about that. So Abraham insisted on buying this for 400 pieces of silver. If you remember, he insisted on buying it because Satan is the prince of this world. He didn't want to take anything from him. We are purchased for a price. So Abraham secured this land like the Father secured us. 1 Corinthians 7:23, ye are bought with a price. We weren't just given to Messiah, he died for us. Be ye not servants of men. So Abraham didn't want to, owe them anything. So let's start over here. Oh, and also 400 is the tav. And in the ancient Hebrew, tav is either a T or a cross. And a tav is also a symbol of the covenant. Well, the covenant is, are we in covenant with the Father? If we're in covenant with the Father, we're obeying his Torah. So, and we want to obey his Torah for what Yeshua did for us, on the cross. So, or on the torture stake. So let's start over here. This big guy is Ephron, the gentleman that Abraham bought the field from. And Ephron means fawn, which comes from afar, which means the color of dust. So what is the dusty one? We're going to call him the dusty one. Well, Genesis 3:14. And Adonai said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. So this is none other than Satan himself. And he manages these little guys. These little guys are the Hittites. And Hittite means terrible or fearsome ones. This is a picture of Satan's demons. You know, it is their job to corrupt us whenever possible. Matthew 12:43 through 45 says, "When the unclean spirit is gone out of a man, he walketh through dry places, seeking rest, and findeth none. Then he saith, I will return unto my house from whence I came out. And when he is come, he findeth it empty, swept, and garnished. Then goeth he and taketh with himself 7 other spirits, more wicked than himself, and they enter in and dwell there. And the last state of the man is worse than the first. Even so shall it be also unto this wicked generation." So whenever we kick demons out of the house, you know, we have to fill it with the doctrine of the Most High. Because whenever the father was talking to Cain about when he killed Abel, and that is Genesis 4:7, he said, "If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him." So he says, sin lieth at the door, and unto thee shall be his desire. So these demons are waiting there just to come into us whenever they get the opportunity. And it's my opinion that even though we're saved, we can still have a demon in us and affecting us if we let them in. So I think that's something to watch for. But anyhow, the Hittites are the demons, and they're working for Hasatan there. So Abraham bought a field. He bought this field. What is a field? Well, in Matthew 13:38, the field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom, but the tares are the children of the wicked one. So here Yeshua is explaining the parable of the tares, and he said to the disciples, and he said, the field is the world. So we can take that to the bank. The field is the world. The trees, got a couple trees here. You know, Abraham made sure that he got those on his title, which, as an aside, is the first recorded purchase of property in Scripture. Now in Luke 23:31, here's what Yeshua says about trees. And what is happening here is Yeshua is on his way to being crucified. And a number of people are lamenting and crying. But Yeshua says this, "For if they do these things in a green tree, what shall be done in the dry?" He tells the people to weep for themselves, for if such things happen to the Messiah, you know, while he's on earth, what will happen when he's gone? You know, and we've seen, you know, things certainly get worse. And I believe he's referring to his fresh doctrine. Not that he did anything new, but he set things right again. You know, all the things that have been added and taken away, you know, from Torah, he straightened it all out. So we have to keep his doctrine fresh and green in our heart. So these trees, in my opinion, represent the pure, unadulterated Torah and Messiah's instruction. Okay, so we go farther down the field here, past the trees, and we come to Machpelah. Now, the definition of Machpelah is twin-chambered. Where else in Scripture or in the writings do we find a subterranean place with 2 chambers? Well, the rich man and Lazarus. And I won't read that, but it's Luke 16:19 through 31. The rich man, and this is a circle here, like I said, a broken circle, meaning you can't see it, it's underground. The rich man finds himself in hell, and Lazarus finds himself in the bosom of Abraham. So, there's the phrase of being gathered to his people. It's seen in Scripture a number of times. You know, we have to consider to whom we wish to be gathered to. Is it to the ones waiting for resurrection or the ones waiting for damnation? So the Cave of the Patriarchs, and that's what it's called now, is located in Hebron Hills. And high hills and mountains are often associated with Elohim. And I just like to read Isaiah 2:3. And many people shall go and say, Come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh, to the house of Elohim of Yaakov. And he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem. So, how sweet is that? If we can make it through this, past the demons, and we can keep, the trees of Messiah, in our heart, we can look forward to being gathered and resurrected. So, that's really all I have for this week, and thanks for listening.